Well guys, it's finally time. I've been holding this off forever now, and this is honestly a video that I think pretty much every washer YouTuber does at the start of when they start filming a machine, but I've been saving it more towards the end here. Guys, it is time for the normal cycle on my LG WM 4000 HWA, if I'm remembering the model number correctly. Yep, that's it. So it's time that we finally do the normal cycle on this machine. So as you see here, we just have a normal load of clothes with the baking soda in there like I usually do. And in the detergent dispenser, we've got our clear liquid detergent in there, as well as our white distilled vinegar in the softener department, or compartment. Normal cycle there, turbo wash activated. Let's go. Allow me to get my lights situated. This video was not one I intended on releasing nearly as late as I am. It was actually one of the first videos I recorded with this machine, actually right after I recorded the speed wash cycle video, I did this one. But the original video had some quality issues, and it also really wasn't a great representation of this machine's normal cycle, because for whatever reason, it took forever for that load to balance for the final spin. Now, granted, it was a load pretty different from what we're seeing in this video. But by the way, we are saying 29-minute cycle here. So this video shouldn't be too long, but the previous video also said 29 minutes, and in the end, it timed out to almost an hour with the spin. Yeah, that was pretty bad, but like I said, it was a very different load. We'll get more into that once we get past the beginning stages here. So we start by filling through the pre-wash compartment of all things, even though pre-wash is not started, or has not been selected. During turbo wash, that just seems to be a pattern that this machine has regardless of the cycle. And as you saw prior while we were getting set up, we were doing the weight distribution routine. And right now, we got our first load of the turbo wash nozzles, starting with the stepping wash section. Do that for a few cycles, getting the clothes just a little bit wet, not terribly wet at this point, but now we're moving on to scrub for a couple rounds. And now we're starting to fill through the main wash compartment as we get ready for filtration. We got some suds down there too. Those are going away now. Oh, come on, that's not a terrible load at all. This is, I made sure that this load was more of a regular type of load that this cycle was designed to do, so just average weekly clothing. Mostly casual stuff as well, with one pair of jeans in there, which is the only thing I can imagine throwing this off right now, because it is the heaviest clothing item in there, but I think it's getting it. It's just taking a little while. But now we are going to be filling through the main wash compartment for the rest of the wash cycle as we continue on. So I forgot exactly where I left off with before. Oh yeah, the load that I was filming the original normal cycle video with was a load of bed sheets, which was not the brightest idea on my end. I understand that now. Not that the normal cycle is a bad cycle for bed sheets, but it kind of is, because the final spin speed is high, as opposed to, on this machine, bedding is medium and so is permanent press. So since my sheets are not very thick, they're pretty much just cotton sheets, basically the same material that, you know, the shirts in here are made out of right now. I just use perm press for them because that's the cycle I usually wash my clothes on anyway. For the sake of the video, I'm doing normal here. But I do believe that normal is the most interesting cycle to watch out of the standard cycles in the set. And by standard cycles, I mean things like normal, heavy-duty, bright whites, delicate, perm press, things like that that aren't specialty cycles or designed for special applications or types of garments. I think that would be the proper term, because blankets and towels and stuff aren't really aren't really clothing. They might be considered garments, though. I'm not sure what you would classify them under, but regardless, washer-safe items, maybe? But yes, we are still gradually filling up through the wash compartment the main wash detergent compartment here. Perhaps with the pre-wash as well, though I can't tell. It sounds like it's just filling with the main wash, but you probably barely even heard the pre-wash because it's so quiet, so there's no way that if the main wash was on at the same time, we'd be able to hear both. But as I was saying, I think this is the most interesting of the standard cycles to watch, just because it has the perfect balance of action and time. Especially because you can't deselect Turbo Wash from the normal cycle. Which, I mean, like, come on, you might as well be using it. Like, this whole time we haven't been using it, really, except for the start. And according to the machine, we're 3 minutes done. Okay, speak of the devil, there it is. But what's it called? The machine says 26 minutes right now. I'm pretty sure we've been running for longer than that. The video is almost 7 minutes long as is. So something really isn't adding up here. But hey, at least we're getting the Turbo Wash now. This is, again, the reason why I would recommend, at this point, an LG washer to anybody who's looking to get a new machine, an LG front loader. Turbo Wash in itself, I believe, is not a deal breaker, but a deal maker. Are we doing the rolling action now? What's going on here? That's what it's looking like to me. Oh, we're gonna try doing filtration again. All right. Adding some variety to the wash action here. I like it. What'd be really cool is if we get the Turbo Wash on right now. You guys can hear the swishing of the water and what in there. Oh, it didn't really go fast like it does, though. That's kind of a shame. Alright, I really gotta work on completing my thoughts when I do these, but normal's the most interesting because heavy duty, bright whites, and delicates, well, delicates doesn't have Turbo Wash, and it doesn't have, it has a swing motion, but it doesn't have, but that kind of gets boring after a while, especially since it does about like 50-50 between swing and tumble. It kind of gets old. It's not like with permanent press, heavy duty, or normal or the bright whites where it like mixes it up, as we're seeing here. We're switching between tumble and filtration, and then sometimes it does tumble and scrub, or just mixes stepping in between there. It does that with other cycles too. Like if you guys remember from the towel cycle video, where we got it doing stepping a few times, that was pretty cool. But Delicates doesn't really do that. Bright whites and permanent press are basically just the normal cycle, but slightly longer. And so I mean, it's just more of a time convenience to watch it the normal cycle. But and then obviously heavy duty with the timing as well. That cycle takes almost 3 hours of time. If I'm remembering correctly, almost 3 hours to complete, and that was just absurd. Maybe it was closer to 2 hours. I'm blanking off the top of my head right now, but yeah. That's why I consider normal to be the most interesting, because it's not terribly long, and it's the most action-packed. I feel like Bright Whites probably has a pretty similar amount of action, just a longer cycle. But Permanent Press does not have nearly as aggressive of a wash from what I remember. Although they are pretty similar, except it just runs a bit longer. It's got to be a little more delicate though, because permanent press is designed for, I think, more business casual items like polo shirts, collared shirts, things like that. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what permanent press stands for. Or not stands for, but is designed for. So, anyway. Bright White's permanent press, or no, just permanent press has medium spin. Bright White's normal have high, and heavy duty has extra high, from what I remember. Yep. It's been a while since I've done one of the since I've recorded one of these videos, so it feels good to be doing this again. I hope you guys are still enjoying them, 'cause I enjoy making them. At some point, I do want to experiment with the downloaded cycles, because the ones on the speed dial at this point, I mean, I've done... I think after this video, I would have done every one of the cycles that are on the dial, except for Allergene. Yeah, I know I did Sanitary because I was confused as to why I did that really deep fill. Wow. That's kind of crazy that I've done every single cycle at this point. I'm not counting rinse and spin, by the way. Though, if you guys really do want to see a rinse and spin cycle video, I'd be more than happy to make it. Just leave it in the comments. So here we are with our first spray rinse, which I think that was the mix of the atomizing sprayer, the spray rinse, in addition to the something going on in the dispenser drawer. It sounded like we were filling through the main wash and potentially the bleach compartment, because if I remember correctly, I read somewhere that LG front loaders, or at least this model in particular, dispenses bleach during the wash stage, towards the end of the wash stage on most cycles. And I think normal was among one of those cycles that it did that. "20 minutes remaining on the cycle, by the way, according to the machine." But yeah, I don't really know how many other people have done videos of the downloaded cycles before, so I'm curious to see how that works. Before I start making download cycle videos, though, I'm going to do a video of whatever cycle that the machine has pre-programmed and downloaded already, because there is one that it has, and I'm pretty sure it's, I think it's like a kids wear cycle or maybe jeans. I don't know. It's got settings that are very similar to permanent press and normal. In fact, I think the modifier settings are exactly the same. I don't remember if Turbo Wash was equipped or not, and if we could remove it. That's something that we'll figure out more in depth when I do that video, which will be among some of the newer ones, because, well, like I said, at this point it's just Allergene and downloaded that I have to do, besides rinse and spin. So that'll be fun though, because there are a lot of different downloadable cycles that LG has, and while I'll probably never use any of them besides for the sake of the videos, it would be fun to just see what it has to offer. Although I do gotta figure out how to sync the machine to a smart device. So I've never bothered doing that. All adventures for down the line. That sudden stop, I thought we might be, maybe be moving on to the rinse, but it fooled me. Okay, there we go. With 16 minutes remaining in the cycle, we are moving on to the intermediate spin, followed by, I believe, the final rinse. I don't think the normal cycle does 2 rinses, though I haven't watched or used it as a matter of fact in quite a while, so I don't really remember, but we are going to find out. Oh man, please don't be a repeat of the last video. Or last attempt at this video. I think it can do it. There we go. Oh man. It probably could have worked with that. That's more like it. Nice, got a spray rinse going during the spin. Love to see it. But we don't love to see all the water that's dripping down the door just going straight into the drain. That kind of sucks. Alright, we are finally done with the intermediate spin. 12 minutes remaining in the cycle. Oh, are we going to fill for the rinse like this? Interesting. You know, that's a very effective way of getting good rinsing, though, because you're constantly making sure that every one of the clothes has the opportunity to get wet, but at the same time, it's forcing the water to go through them because they're kept in that loop, just as if it would be for the final spin. So that's a very effective rinsing strategy. It forces all of the sudsy water out. Now, granted, it is going to be reused and recycled because that's just the inevitability of it because it's not draining. But still, very good idea to do it. Like, very good. It's very good when the machines do rinses like this. That was a very nice thing to see on those old-fashioned top loaders as well, when they would be in their high-speed spin and water would be dispensing at the same time. You're not really going to get more of a thorough rinse than that. You can already hear all the water sloshing in there. That thing fills up fast. Enough speed. Getting some water coming out of the bottom of the drum there too. It's over. Kind of get an idea of the water level in there. Yeah, the turbo wash distorts that now, but it was slightly above the bottom layer, the bottommost layer of clothing in the previous clip, or the previous view, however you want to describe it. We're still filling though, so we got all 4 turbo wash nozzles going, in addition to the spray rinse for the atomizing sprayer, in addition to filling with fresh water from the dispenser. Love to see it. Now the atomizing sprayer is going on more thoroughly. It hasn't really been doing that all that much these past few rounds it's been on. But there we got the more thorough spray rinse that you see there. It's not really hitting the door at all. And that is what you want to see out of the atomizing sprayer. Sounds like we're filling through the pre-wash compartment, or maybe the bleach compartment too. It sounds more like pre-wash because it's got that little hiss that we kind of heard at the start. Yeah, that's what it's got to be. Either that, or maybe that's the bleach compartment. But like I said, I'm pretty confident that this machine fills with bleach towards the end of the wash cycle, because it wouldn't really make sense for it to fill with bleach in the final rinse. You really wouldn't want to do that for clothes like this. Granted, maybe it doesn't expect there to actually be bleach in the bleach compartment because this isn't the bright white cycle, but I'm not sure. By the way, that 29-minute time frame that we were given at the beginning, a complete and utter lie. Even though this cycle really hasn't struggled to balance that much, the machine is still claiming that there are 10 minutes left on the cycle. It's been like that for a couple minutes now. The video itself is already almost at 29 minutes. By that logic, we should be finished in the low 30s. At this rate, I think this video is going to be closer to 40 minutes long. And that's if I don't speed anything up, which for this cycle I might not. I think this is a pretty important cycle to see, so I'm probably not going to speed it up, unlike with the other cycles that are similar enough to this. Well, if anyone specifically does want a sped up version, we can do that. Alright, so 9 minutes remaining, we're going into the final spin, so I was correct. There was only really one rinse here, because there's only one intermediate spin. This thing's got a lot of water to drain out now, though. Okay, that looks like a great balance. I stand corrected. That was anything but great. I don't think so. No way. Making me look like a liar. Wow. There's still one piece of clothing in the middle there, it looks like. You can kind of see it spinning around. I wonder if that's ever going to get pulled back to the sides. Or if it's just going to be stuck there. Oh man, it doesn't trust it? Nope. There's probably that little bit that was in the middle. this is the annoying part about this machine. Just like every other modern washer on the market, it seems, it is way too sensitive when it comes to the spin. Or rather, no, it's not too sensitive when it comes to the balance. Some might argue it is, I personally don't. What I don't like is how quickly it jumps straight into the final, to the speed up. Like, take your time, let things kind of fall into place a bit. Like, I just don't know. Nice, now spray rinse during a high-speed spin. The whole machine shaking right now. I don't know how well it's coming across on camera. Kind of see it right there. It went through with it though. Eventually. So I suppose I gotta give credit where credit is due. See it with the knobs and stuff. With the knob and the buttons. What you guys just witnessed at the very end there is my least favorite part about the normal cycle. The fact that it doesn't do those ending tumbles like the other cycle, or like most of the other cycles do. In this case, though, I don't really think it mattered because I'm pretty sure... I mean, yeah, there wasn't... Well, except for the one shirt, there really wasn't anything up there that got stuck, but a lot of times when I do laundry, there is stuff that's up there that gets stuck even after doing the tumbles. So, I mean, I guess it could be redundant, but it's just nice to know that it does it. Anyway, at long last, you all have the normal cycle on my LG WM4000 HWA front load washer. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and remember, stay cool, everybody.